When I got to cook with Julia Child at her house, I was part of the Baking with Julia book. I got asked to be a part of that as one of the 27 voices across America who are bakers, and then got to go to her house to film the Baking with Julia PBS series. She said to me when I walked in, she said, "Now, darling, if you're talking too much, I'll take my thumb and I'll stick it in your thigh." While we're taping, because after all, it is my show. And so the whole time you're like terrified that you're going to get this thumb. It is sort of the perfect, because you can't see it under the counter, right? And male or female, you know, there's no like problem if she thumbs a guy in the thigh. So I always, so if someone wants to come up, if I'm going on too long, just thumb in the thigh, and I will stop instantly and turn it over to you guys. My name is Chef Gale Gand, which I'm assuming you guys know because you're here and you called early. This thing sold out so fast. We had a wait list of people who are at home right now just wanting to get you guys because you got in. So thank you for calling early and for making this a popular event. I appreciate that. And the idea of it was to taste some desserts at the end of our day, because everybody needs that, and have some bubbles at the end of our day, which I always need. So I loved the idea of sort of pairing champagne with dessert and showing you a few different kinds. So that was sort of why we were here tonight. And then let's learn how to cook a little bit. And I've also got cookbooks here if anybody wants a book personalized or signed. We can do that at the end. We've got books downstairs for sale. The thing I like about Prosecco, I was in Rome once, and isn't the parking terrible in Rome? Yes. Oh, don't hate me because I get to so I'm in Rome, and I'm visiting these people for brunch. And it's, 11 o'clock in the morning, and they pour me a glass of Prosecco. I had never really had it before, maybe like 12 years ago. And they kept topping my glass off, and I was getting worried, because it's midday. I mean, it's Italy, but it's still midday. So, and they keep pouring, and I keep drinking more, and it's so refreshing, and it was summertime, it was hot. And I noticed that I wasn't getting trashed, and I couldn't figure out why. And I looked at the bottle, it was like 5% alcohol, so it was a really low alcohol. Now they're not all like that, so do look at the bottle, because I've had times where I assume it's the low alcohol content one, and it's not. But that is one of the nice things about Prosecco. It's a great party wine, because you can, keep pouring and start it early in the day. And the alcohol content is generally lower, and so you're not getting that part of the buzz, but you're getting sort of the refreshing effervescence of the bubbles, which is really nice. And it pairs well with the recipe we're going to do tonight, which is a buttermilk panna cotta with strawberry mash, strawberry and peach mash. So we're going to make buttermilk panna cotta. Panna cotta is the Italian version of pudding, all right? But the nice thing is there's no starch in it, so we have someone who's gluten-free. There you are. So you'll be fine with this. No flour in it, no starch. So it's not thickened with starch like vanilla custard might be, or crème pâtissière, which is the French version. It's just thickened with gelatin. Okay, so it's a very simple, very easy dessert. And actually, Rick Tremonto, who's going to be competing on Top Chef Masters, called and said, "Can you teach me 3 desserts in case I get something?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll give you a panna cotta, a mousse, and a crumble, and then you'll be all set in all the categories." And the nice thing about a panna cotta is it's fast, it's simple, and you can alter it. You've got extra orange rind you want to throw it in, fine. You want to just do vanilla, great. You don't like buttermilk, want to do it with all, half and half and just cream, that's fine. So in spite of the pastry world being this really, it's all chemistry and physics and detail and weighing everything by the gram, this is one of the few desserts that you can kind of you can play with it. You can improvise. I will let you do that on this one, okay? So I thought it was a good one to share tonight. Now, does everybody have a copy of the recipe? Mm-hmm. Signed copy of the recipe. Right. So you're right, so I can sell that on eBay. Yeah. There was an autographed photo of me on eBay. And I was like, I wonder if it's real. And it was. I could tell because I know it went for $8. I can make a living just selling my own photo on eBay signed, I guess. The one thing that is, I don't know if you feel like getting a pencil out now, but on the recipe we forgot to add the vanilla bean, which is sort of funny because it's out of the chocolate and vanilla book. Some of you bought that book tonight. which is a fun book. It's half chocolate recipes and half vanilla recipes, and you flip, it's a flip book. So you open it from one side and it's half chocolate recipes, you open it from the other side and it's the vanilla recipes. And I was writing that when I was pregnant with my twins. I have twin girls who are almost 5 now. So, and it wasn't that I could only think of 2 things at once, because I was having twins, but I tried to think of, if I only could have 2 ingredients, if they took everything away from me, but I was allowed to have 2 ingredients, what are the 2 things I wouldn't want to live without? And it was chocolate and vanilla. And they were so similar in certain respects. They're both kind of a bean. They're both grown around the equator, 30 degrees north or south of the equator. They're both sort of aged and roasted and fermented. They're both very unattractive, if you look at them, but the flavor that they emote is just so impactful and unbelievable. You'd never look at this wrinkly, dark brown vanilla bean and think that this is, something that wars were fought over and that, traded for big bucks, and that people get, they're on their mule in Mexico going up the hill trying to deliver their vanilla beans to market, and guys come up and like steal their vanilla beans from them and push them aside, and it's a very valued substance. So much so that some vanilla beans will be branded. If you ever find a vanilla bean that has like little tiny holes pricked into it, don't think that that's like spider bites or something. It's actually literally a brand that the plantation that grew it poked into it, so that if for some reason they do go astray on the way to market, you can trace back whose beans these are and figure out if they're underground or not. I'm going to actually pass a vanilla bean around so you guys can kind of see how supple and sexy they are. They're very sort of almost mushy and gushy, which is not always how you find them in the store. The deal with vanilla beans when you're buying one, and I know you can't touch the food at the grocery store, but if you take a vanilla bean and wind it around your finger, it should not crack. It should be so supple and moist that it will wind, okay? And when did Rick go to Tahiti? He was there like 2 years ago, right? He brought me back these. So these are old. They're usable, they're full flavored, smell them, they're gorgeous. But you can see even a 2-year-old bean is not like stiff and cracking. So if you get one that's dry and cracked like that, it hasn't been stored properly and it's abused. It will still give off great flavor, but it's not the optimum vanilla bean.
What is the shelf life?
Well, honestly, 2 years or more. And I'm not keeping these refrigerated. I'll pass some more so that you don't have to have it wait. I'm not even refrigerating. Some places recommend to refrigerate and some say not to, because then you get condensation when you pull them out of the fridge. So I don't even know if I can give you a time, to be honest, of what this shelf life is. I think it has more to do with how you store it.